Good morning, YouTube. Today, we're going to talk about Neil's LP610-4 Huracan. Yes, we have an enemy of the state.
Lord Vader, this is an unexpected pleasure. We're honored by your presence.
You may dispense with the pleasantries, Commander.
In the garage, we have a Lamborghini. Actually, it's pretty badass.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
Take a look and soak it in. Yes, this thing is gorgeous. By the way, I have to say, more Lamborghinis need to be in red. This is a proper color. If you're going to buy a Lamborghini, I think there should be one rule, which is it must be bright, okay? If it's a Lamborghini, gonna stand out. It's not like they're like gonna be like stealthy, hiding in with the crowd. And then people get up in like really bland colors. And I'm like, why would you do that? Lamborghini was created to be an FU to the supercar world. So why would you not proudly stick up your middle finger and be like, this is bright as hell, I have a Lamborghini. This thing's badass, so we're gonna take a look at it. And I've actually technically never driven a Lamborghini. I've sat in tons of them, but I've never actually driven in one. So I'm kind of excited about this. This is me, my first time riding a Lamborghini. Neil is certain that I'm going to abandon Ferrari for a Lamborghini, but we shall see. As you can tell, this thing actually is not the stock ride height. This thing's been lowered, which makes it look incredibly good. It's actually lowered so much that it was going to scrape in my garage or in my driveway, which isn't exactly a steep incline, but this thing is really, really low. That looks sick as hell. So we got these big Vorsteiner 20-inch wheels in the front and the back. Some big old tires back here, 305s. Just having it in the garage kind of gives me some perspective on the size of this car. So what's fascinating to me is this thing's actually pretty wide compared to the Ferrari. Like looking at how much space it's taken up in the garage, I feel like it might be wider. It's a Lamborghini, and we do not have the scissor doors, but we do have this like semi-hidden door handle thing, which is pretty cool.
Not like this! Not like this!
Very modern display, so that's one thing that I will say Lamborghini seems to have done quite well. And we've got digital display over here. Oh yes, olio. we still got Italian words, so batteria. Can you change that, or is that just... There's no change in that. There's no change in it? No. So you don't get any English words for that sort of stuff because, damn it, you're in a Lamborghini, you're going to learn some Italian, even though it's pretty obvious Italian. The other thing that Lamborghini does really well is we actually have reasonable controls. I would assume that's probably something from it being kind of sort of Audi-ish parts, and don't kill me for saying that, but it's true. Looking at this for 20 seconds now, I think I've already figured out how to use this. Everything's labeled really well. When you click these buttons, listen to this, it's got like a nice tactile feel to it. It feels really good. Whoop. Oh, yep. Yeah, see? Oh, yes. Whoop. I don't know why it went up and then went down. Okay, we'll just leave it down. It's doing something very Italian right now. I'm telling it to go up, and it goes up, and then comes back down. We'll just leave it there. Okay. Lamborghini Bull etched into the seat, or I guess embossed. I don't know what the right term is. For those of you that are tall people, do not get the convertible version of this car. The Spider version has all this space back here is taken up by the roof storage. So this actually has a reasonable amount of room back here. The other version of it does not. It's much tighter, hard to squeeze in. Looking at the rest of the center control stack, we've got our parking brake, reverse controls, park, I'm assuming that's manual mode. And then of course we got the ultra cool fighter plane start stop button. This is how you actually turn on and off the car. We'll do that in a second. It's pretty cool. My only complaint about this, they added this cool thing that you have to lift up to push the start stop, but then they put a hole in it so you don't have to lift it up. I personally think they should have not put that hole there. I mean, if you're gonna make it so it's like, hey, we gotta like, you know, arm it and then push the button, make them do that. Like, don't cheap out and be like, oh, we can just push right through. No, damn it, push the thing up and then hit the button. Windshield wiper controls here. We've got our different driving modes down here. I'm assuming this is for the menu controls on the dashboard. And then finally we got the blinkers and your high beams. Just like the Ferrari, they've switched to having most of the controls in the steering wheel. It's actually really nice. It makes it very convenient. And then over here we got a couple more buttons for some lights. Very nice material. Everything's really solid. So like the leather has a really good soft touch to it. It just feels nice. Is that plastic?
It is plastic.
What the shit?
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f is that?
Okay, come on Lamborghini. You got like all this beautiful material, nice Alcantara, beautiful stitching, everything's really, really solid, and then plastic air vents that look kind of metal. I mean, they could have totally just put a piece of metal right there and it would have looked so much better. Added 0 weight. That's kind of a bummer. I get it. It's got to save a little bit of money here and there. Everything's got like that soft touch kind of feel to it. Like this piece right here feels nice and good. All the buttons have really solid feedback. They just, when you push them, it's nice and solid. Just none of this cheap crap. Like there's just nothing that feels chintzy in this car. Oh, hey, look, we have a wee little sun visor and a tiny little mirror. You don't get to block out much sun, just a little bit of sun. Jeez, those go up with force. Look at that. You're like, retract. Lamborghini, keeping with the whole, we're not going to give you English words, they've got the different modes in Italian. So we've got Strada, Sport, and Corsa. Corsa, of course, means race in Italian. Strada, I actually don't know what that means in Italian. Street? Oh, okay, that's street. And then sport is sport. Is sport really sport in Italian? I don't know. I bet it is. Because this says airbag, not airbago or airbagio or whatever. Some things, I guess, they didn't choose to put in English, and some things they did. Like temperature, aqua. So, you know, water temperature. Benzina. I love that. That's a great word. Oh, that's interesting. It actually says, like, percent, not like the whole one of one thing that the Germans do, even though we've got the some Audi-ness in there. So having sat in the seat for a little bit, I can already tell you this seat grips you. This would be a very good seat on a track. Like I am in here, like I'm actually probably a bit too much of a big ass American dude for this seat. It's squeezing me in pretty good. My butt is firmly placed. I'm not going anywhere. And of course with the Alcantara, you don't really slide as much as you do with the leathers. For tracking, that's going to be really awesome. These seats are really comfortable. I feel like I could sit here for quite a while and not have it bother me at all. So that's one thing that's kind of a concern with a lot of these super low sports cars, is you get in the seats and you're just like, Jesus, this is not comfortable. This is a comfortable seat. All right, let's take a look at this glorious V10. That's a very interesting lid to it. It's got like a little piece of glass here and then another piece of glass there. I guess I never noticed that before. Of course, Lamborghini loves to print the firing order on all of their cars, which I'll admit, as a guy who likes to wrench on cars, I find that very cool. This isn't factory, is it?
It is.
This is?
It's all factory.
Really? So that's like the forged carbon stuff?
Yep.
Wow, okay. Well, we've got forged carbon bits back here, which I actually have to say, I think they look pretty cool. I'm a big fan of that sort of stuff. And then if you didn't know, Lamborghinis, the engines always are offset just a little bit, or at least in these newer Lamborghinis. And they do that, something about the transmission and weight distribution or something like that. I don't know. There's some reason it's not like they screwed up and like they didn't misalign the engine. This is intentionally off center. I know that bothers some people. I don't really give a shit. I actually find that kind of cool from an engineering perspective, that they would compute all of that and say, hey, no, you know what, the engine should be offset just a tiny little itty bitty bit. It's actually way more obvious when you look at the Aventadors than the Huracan, but it is kind of interesting to see. Kind of tightened it all up. I mean, you can't see the engine as much as you can on some of the older Lamborghinis, which is a shame because it's a work of art. You know, they still make really impressive engines. Only a 5.2 liter, so it's not like it's a huge engine, which with 10 cylinders means we got pretty small pistons. This thing's got the Velocity AP aftermarket exhaust, so it sounds really good. I will say Lamborghini did a good job on the factory exhaust in these things. They have a lot of good sound, and the crackles and pops that come out of these things from the factory. Let's be real, like I said earlier, you got a Lamborghini, you want to show off. If you're gonna rev, it should be loud and sound good. So that's what this thing does. Pops and crackles, and I'm sure it shoots out flames and stuff because, you know, Lamborghini, shoot out fire. So apparently this actually is an option to have this glass piece like this. Normally on these Huracans you see kind of like the louvered thing, and this one's just one solid big piece of glass, which I'll admit, I actually think it looks cleaner. It gives the car very smooth lines when it's shut. You know, it makes the car have a very flowy look as opposed to kind of like this weird, like, jagged rear end. So when you lift up the frunk on this thing, it actually does a weird pivot kind of thing. It kind of comes out and up. It's kind of a weird articulation, and I do that obviously because otherwise this would dig into your paint and you'd be very upset. So the trunk lid goes way up here. You see it needs to be able to clear it, which actually looks kind of cool. Unfortunately, the trunk of this thing is, well, this is a supercar. You get what you get. You can fit like maybe 1.5 bags. I mean, you can fit someone's leg, possibly your torso. I mean, I guess if you're killing someone, you know, the dead body equation, you only got like a torso, maybe their head. Not a whole lot to see up here. It's a very, very small trunk. And I mean, it's deep, you know, like that's, you know, it's an arm length deep. Carrying on, one of the themes of Lamborghini is this kind of like Y-shaped lights. They have them on the front and the rear of this thing. It makes it kind of have this nice sinister look. I mean, let's be real, this thing is a good looking car. Lamborghinis are very stylish. They're designed to be very aggressive looking, and this certainly looks that. So I was told the trick is turn this on first, so no foot on the brake, just turn a button. Okay, and then turn it to sport first, right? And that will make it start with louder exhaust. We want loud. Oh, flip the switch. Yes, gotta flip the switch. Oh yeah. I will say, Lamborghini definitely did a good job on the sound. This sounds really, really good. Okay, put the rocket launcher back into not shooting rockets mode. So reverse, got foot on the brake. I'm assuming we pull up. Pretty simple. 2 feet into this thing, I can tell you one really interesting thing is the dashboard in this car is much, much longer, and it starts higher. So the visibility isn't quite as clear. This behaves more like a traditional automatic. When you release the brake, it starts to roll. Ferraris behave more like a manual transmission. When you release the brake, it's just kind of there in neutral. So I've already driven it, you know, 1/8 of a mile, and I can tell you the shifts are really nice. The downshifts are really smooth and crisp. So we'll give it a little bit of balls here, not too much, just a little bit. Oh. All right, she's got a lot of balls. That's I can live with this. It's very torquey. This is a really torquey engine. Like, you can feel it come alive very quickly at low RPM. So I never got it above 5,000 RPMs right there, and we hit our top speed of 55 very fast. Already very pleased with the way it drives. The steering has that good Italian feel to it. Decent feedback. Like, if I drive over these little bumps, you can feel it. You can actually, so it's not a numb car. I hate when you can't feel the road, and you can actually feel the road. So they've got that, you know, tightness about it. At the same time, the steering wheel is actually a little bit light. It's not a very heavy. I wonder if I change it to race, does the steering wheel get a little heavier? Oh, just a tiny bit. It's a little bit heavier in race mode, so that's good. It's a good feel. We'll keep it in sport though. I don't feel like dying today, especially when it's not my car. Neil appreciates that. The downshifts though, oh man, those are epic. The downshift is outstanding. Like, super fast transmission. Very, very fast. Oh, I got some nice crackles there too. Yeah, the downshifts are really pretty fun in this car. Awesome carbon ceramic brakes in this thing. Really, really smooth braking. I want to find more things to complain about, but I'm having a hard time. Damn you. All right, I have one minor complaint. The turn signal noise. It kind of reminds me of like a, I don't know, like a sedan. All right, we're gonna give it the full beans here. We'll see what she can do. All right, here we go. Excuse me. I mean, it's slow, very slow. Do not buy this car. It's not fun at all. We'll do a little downshift here and give it some beans again. Oh my God, it is so much torque. It's just a totally different engine. The way it's designed, the way it behaves. It's like a little more muscle car-y. Like, it's got that low end torque that you get, you know, from an American V8, but it still revs to 8,500 RPMs in a 10-cylinder. So it's still got that Italian like upper end that just screams and sounds glorious. Why did Lamborghini have to make a good car? They should not be making this good of a car. Oh, the downshifts. Holy shit. Oh, here we go. Oh man. Oh. Damn. This is a good car. It's a really good car. Should not like this car this much, but I do. All right. I got my one complaint. Here we go. I have one thing, is the forward visibility is nowhere near as good as that in the Ferrari. That's all I got. I guess the rear visibility is probably just as bad. Like, it's not good in the Ferrari, let's be real. It's crap in the Ferrari rear visibility. But you do have really large side view mirrors, so these mirrors are much larger than they are in the Ferrari. Yeah, forward visibility is a little bit like because you got so much more dashboard, and I feel like the roof sticks out a little bit further. That's all I got. I don't have a whole lot to complain about. The sound is good, the torque is excellent. Very torquey motor. You can feel that extra torque. I think this has substantially more torque than my car, but you can feel it. Transmission's amazing. Really fast transmission. Really crisp shifts, up or down. Steering's good. The steering wheel feels good. It's got a good weight, so it's a little bit on the light side, but not too much. Damn you, Neil. I gotta think of something else to complain about. I only have like a few more moments with this thing, and I'm in...
Do we have a new Lambo convert?
Overall, I still love the Ferrari more, but I get this car, and I think it's a freaking great car. A big common thing is like people are like, should I get the Lamborghini or the Ferrari? And I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't matter. They're both great. You're not gonna go wrong either way. So like those of you whose hearts are set on a Lamborghini, get the Lamborghini. If your heart's set on a Ferrari, get a Ferrari. And if you're torn, you're like, I don't know, I like them both, they both look really awesome, they both sound awesome, then go drive them both, and you'll probably be just as confused because they're both really good. Me being me, and I have certain things I want out of a car, I could say I personally enjoy the way my Ferrari drives just a little bit more, but that's not to say that this is bad in any way. It's just that's a personal preference. That has nothing to do with the caliber of the car or how it behaves or anything like that. I'm disappointed that I can't complain more.
Is this your first time driving a Huracan?
Yeah, it's my first time driving a Lamborghini. I've never driven a Lamborghini. I've done tons of Ferraris now.
Oh.
Just never had a chance to do a Lamborghini. So just like the Ferrari, if you're trying to be a civil person and drive it slow, it's totally civilized, drives really smooth, the shifts are really soft and nice. So, you know, like you're not gonna look like a total jerk driving around in traffic. You're gonna be fine. It's not gonna be herky-jerky kind of stuff. Oh shit, I scraped.
That's not the bumper.
That wasn't the bumper?
That's not the bumper. There's a plastic lip under.
It's not crazy loud if you're just kind of taking it easy. So we're going the speed limit in a residential neighborhood. It's pleasant. It's actually reasonably pleasant. Until I do that. So yeah, clearly I am not impressed at all with this car. It's the worst car ever. I'm trying, I gotta think of something bad. I'm having a hard time. I really thought I was not gonna like this car, and I kind of do. It's really good. It's really fun. If you're buying a Lamborghini, McLaren, or a Ferrari, the reality is they're all super good cars, and when it comes down to comparing them, it's like splitting hairs. Like little tiny differences about the cars, just little tiny things the way they are, you may or may not like. If you're torn about buying any of those three brands, the thing I can tell you is just get the one that you really want. You're not going to be disappointed. I guess maybe McLarens are crap and they break a lot, so therefore I wouldn't buy a McLaren. But these things are really bulletproof. Seeing other YouTubers beating the snot out of these Huracans, and they just don't care. They just don't break. They're really solid cars, really fast, good performance. They're fun. They sound good. There's nothing to dislike about this car, so I don't have anything really bad to say about it. I was gonna try my best to say mean things, but I can't. If you haven't already, you need to like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you want to win that clock right there on my wall before I hit 50,000 subscribers, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and then go to my website, normalguysupercar.com, and either buy some of my merch or go sign up for my email list. If you do those things, you'll automatically be entered to win. And once I hit 50,000 subscribers, I'll be just randomly choosing someone, and they're going to win that awesome clock right there, which is pretty badass. Neil is convinced that I'm going to buy a Lamborghini next. I don't know. What do you think? Should I get a Lamborghini? I don't think I have the budget for a second car, and I think Megan would kill me straight up. Maybe someday. We have a ton of car stuff coming your way. You're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.